So the beauty of 12 to 13,000, it gets us to that 80 to 85% correction that Bitcoin has done every single cycle. So that kind of gives us a basis of what to look for. It's also a strong technical support, but you're right. I mean, if you're a long-term investor and you're not going to look at it for 10 years or 5 years, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to, this is the key, right? You have to be able to weather the emotional storm, because I know.
All right, ludicrous levels. Let's apply the same methodology of analysis to Bitcoin. We had a drop of ludicrous levels earlier today. A lot of that drop has rebounded. Now we're down only about 1%. Let's talk about what happened in the last 48 hours or so, and then we can proceed on to your short-term and medium-term analysis and targets.
Yeah. So what we saw is Friday, when the equity market sold off, you got this nasty candle. It did close below this channel. So look at the beauty of this channel here, how we've been hovering up and down inside of it really since June. But the negative here is that we saw a close below. Now, you haven't confirmed, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a very, very nasty little pattern formation. And it's likely we're going to go retest this yellow trend line here, which happens to be the high from 2017 right here. That's going to be a big line in the sand. If we break that, then you see that move down that I've been calling for as my secondary target. You know, my first target was 20,000. We talked about it last year in Dubai when I was there in October 2021. We said 20,000. Now I say it's going to actually go lower than that. Next stop is going to be 12 to 13,000. So we are headed lower, and it's going to be a rough road along the ways here. Mm-hmm.
Rough roads along. Okay, so $12,000 is not too terrible a drop from. I know that sounds bad. I mean, $12,000 is a level we haven't seen that for years. But from current levels, it's in Bitcoin terms, you know, we've seen worse, right? $12,000.
I mean, it's only about 50%, right?
It's only about
50%.
We can't discount the fact that we've already been down 70%. What's another 50?
True. Right. And the scheme, and you're right on this, right, is that, you know, from the drop from 69 to 21 and change, if it's only got another really about 9,000 to go, that's not that crazy. I agree.
All right. I'm not advocating for people to start buying on a 50% dip right now. I'm just saying, you know, in the bigger term perspective, if you're somebody like, for instance, like Mike Novogratz, CEO of Galaxy, he's a couple weeks ago, he made headlines by saying that he still thinks Bitcoin's long-term projection or potential is $500,000 a coin. And if you're of the view that Bitcoin will eventually hit $500,000 a coin, I'm not saying will, I'm just quoting Mike here. You know, if you agree with Novogratz, then what's the difference? $20,000, $12,000? Your buy-in at this point doesn't really make a difference if you think of it that way.
Right. And to be fair, that he's correct on that. And I actually have that same long-term view. I'm a big long-term bull. I'm just a shorter-term macro economist looking at the cycles and everything like that. So the beauty of 12 to 13,000, it gets us to that 80 to 85% correction that Bitcoin has done every single cycle. So that kind of gives us a basis of what to look for. It's also a strong technical support. But you're right. I mean, if you're a long-term investor and you're not going to look at it for 10 years or 5 years, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to, this is the key, right? You have to be able to weather the emotional storm, because I know a lot of investors out there, they might buy in at 22 or 21. And when they're down 40% at 12, they might panic and unload, because you're going to hear a lot of negativity out there. And if you have to be able to control that and shut it out, and then you're okay to do that. But if you're someone who's very emotional and you're going to exit the trade at that point, and then it goes to 50,000, then 100,000, that's not a good scenario for you to be in. So if you have emotional control, that's fine. Start inching in. I also advocate for dollar cost averaging. Buy a little here at 21, buy a little bit more at 18, buy some more at 15, and so forth, versus just going all in at one specific level.